Hi everyone, this is a tutorial on how to make some more complicated flipbook animations and series of animations. The tutorials on Paper2D on the official Unreal channel are pretty good, but they don't get into some more advanced concepts. And it took me a while to figure out how to do this because I couldn't find any good tutorials on it. So I decided to make a video to help out anyone else who's been interested on how to do this. I had a character, and when he jumped I wanted him to play an initial jumping animation, this one right here. Then I wanted him to go into a loop as he fell until he hit the ground, and I wanted to repeat it as long as he was in the air. And then as soon as he hit the ground, I wanted him to play this landing animation before returning to his idle animation. And I'll show you what this looks like in action. You can see when he jumps he does the initial animation, and then he does the falling animation with his arms locked above his head. And then when he falls, he does the landing animation and returns to idle. So jumping animation, falling, loop, and then landing animation to idle. So I'll show you my prototype, or I'll show you in my blueprint here exactly what I did. A lot of this here is pretty similar to what you already did to make an animation state machine in the earlier tutorials if you did them. But one important change we make here, we make a branch at the start of the update animation event, and we have a new Boolean variable, and I called mine animation is firing. You can call it whatever you want, but basically keeps track of whether or not you are already performing an animation from your animation state machine. And so you'll want what I do just to be safe. As soon as the game starts, I set this variable to false. That way we don't get hung up right at the get-go. And then as soon as we pass this initial branch, we set it to true again. That way no new update animation events will try and come in and screw up our animation or interrupt our animation until we're completely done with it. So then we test to see if our sprite is moving, if he's falling, and then we pass that to our animation state machine. You should be familiar with all of this if you've done the earlier tutorial. And then here, just for illustrative purposes, I've put my idle and walking animations here in this lower branch. The only important thing to note here for what I've done is that I've set the animation to animation is firing boolean to false again once I'm done playing the animations. Up in the top branch here, I set looping to off because I want this flipbook to only play once. And then I play the flipbook, my initial jumping flipbook. And then I use this play function here. This is really important. Sometimes when you have looping set to off, you'll only see the first frame of animation on a flipbook. If you want to make sure it plays through the entire flipbook, you want to use this function. And note that for all three of these, the target is the sprite. It's not the flipbook, it's the sprite, in this case Dio, my character. And then after I initiate playing this flipbook, I run a delay for exactly the length of time that the flipbook goes for. This makes sure that I don't jump into my falling loop animation and interrupt the initial jumping animation until it's completely done. So we go here, we turn looping back on, we run our jumping or falling loop, and this will keep on going until we land on the ground. And it performs our landing flipbook, but I'll show you what happens in between, where the magic happens. So I take my jumping loop flipbook, find out exactly how long it is, then I divide it by the exact number of frames that I have in that flipbook. And the reason I do this is because I was having some problems initially when I tried this, where when my character would land, he would still play out the rest of the frames of his animation before going into the landing animation. And so by doing what I've done here, this makes sure that as soon as he's landed, he will immediately go into his landing animation. So after we start the loop, we'll go to a check and see if our character is falling or not. If he is still falling, we'll run a delay equal to 1 frame. We'll check again. Run a delay equal to 1 frame, and so on until he's no longer falling. And so you don't have to do this for falling. You could do this for any other condition you want to check for to end your animation on. It should work for just about anything you can throw at it. And then as soon as our character is no longer falling, we go to our landing frame, or our landing flipbook. So our target we set our sprite to not loop again. We set it to play our landing animation, and we make sure we do this. Otherwise, it might get stuck on the first frame. We have it play exactly as long. We make sure it plays exactly as long as the flipbook is long, and we turn our animation as firing variable back to false. And then that will make it so that next time our update animation event runs, it will go through and pick out another animation. And so I hope this tutorial has been pretty clear and straightforward. If you have any questions, you can message me on the Unreal Engine forums or leave a comment on the video. And if you have any advice or ideas on how this can be improved or things that I did wrong or inefficiently, I'd love to know. Thank you for watching, and I'll probably be putting some more videos out as I learn more things, so if you want to check them out, feel free to. And have a great day.